everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And today it's going to be a little bit different because it's going to be my first story time ever. And I'm just talking about how one time I lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm not being cocky or bragging or anything, going like, haha, I lived in Vegas and you didn't. But yeah. But I'm just explaining some of my years in Vegas and everything, what interesting stuff that happened, just like how I lived there, stuff like that. And I'm just talking about it just to give you some info and stuff like that about how I lived in Vegas. And yeah, I'm just going to keep this intro a little bit short, so let's just get straight to the video. Well, okay. I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which I'm living in right now. So, you know. Did you hear that? It was like, but that was funny. And, yeah. Well, when I was born, I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then a couple years later, when I was about 2, I was 2, I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. So I didn't live in Pennsylvania anymore. And, well, when I moved there, the instant thing I thought in my head was, oh, well, we're just visiting here, and something like that. I was only 2. I mean, like, you know, what are you gonna say? But, I didn't really understand what was going on much. It was like a little blur or something like that. I do quotation marks way too much, but I don't care. But when I moved to Vegas, I didn't really understand what was going on. I just thought, hey, I'm just visiting here, and then we're gonna go back to my family, and yeah. But then after a couple years, or a year, or maybe a few months, I don't even know, then I just started to realize, hey, like, I'm pretty sure that we're staying here forever, even though we didn't stay there forever. But I think we're staying here forever, you know what I mean? Like, for the rest of my life, until I'm an adult, like, we're moving here. But the thing was, I didn't think that before, so I was really confused still at that time. It's really hard to explain. It's not something I can explain in words. So I was so confused up till a couple months later. I'm just like, okay, maybe a year or so later, and I thought, okay, this is where we're living. We're moving here. And, well, my 3rd year, oh my gosh, okay, I'm sorry, I'm like getting distracted by everything. But about when I was 3 years old, I didn't really have a birthday party. That was like pretty much the only year I didn't have a birthday party. I technically did, and I had a cake and everything, stuff like that, but my parents and we just had a little party, like, celebrating. We did a few games around the house, stuff like that. And I lived in a big house. I'm not saying like I lived in a mansion or something, but I lived in like a very large house. That's what I'm gonna say. Just a large house. So, like, there were a lot of rooms for me to jump around in and do whatever I want. But it was fun to me. I was little. I was 3. I didn't really understand what was going on, so I'm just like, yeah. But that was the only year I had a quote unquote birthday party. So, but yeah. And, well, I don't really know how to explain it. And then it was just a big, I don't know, big blur, like I said. I don't know if I said that, but yeah, that was like the only year I didn't have a birthday party. And, well, a year later, when I was 4, I'm not going to do it every year, don't worry. When I was 4, I started to go to preschool or kindergarten, whichever one, I forget. I think kindergarten, but I'm not sure. Like, when I was 4, I started kindergarten. No, that's when I was 3. I don't know what I'm saying, but that's when my 2nd year, my God, of kindergarten. And that was my second year of kindergarten. I just keep saying the same thing over and over again. This is so boring, but don't worry. Doing the video will get better. So that was my second year of kindergarten. And, well, like, one time I had this dream. It's kind of graphic, so, and I was very little, so I like cried my eyes out in the middle of the night. Like, I was sleeping, and then I dreamt about this. I don't even know why I dreamt about this. It was the lava or a big volcano was like taking over the world or the United States or something. And my mom, she fell in, and I was like, it was like so traumatic in my head. Like, that's something that'll stay in my head forever, because something that you first realize, that you first, like, see as, you can't see differently, and you can't forget about it. You can't not see it the same way or how you saw it the first time. You know what I mean? That's the way you're going to see it forever. So and the next day when I went to my school, I just cried in the middle of class. I usually don't cry at school. I mean, like, I don't know, maybe there's like 5 times I've ever cried in school in my whole entire life, not even as a little kid. But when I was little, I thought, the next day at school, I'm just crying in the middle of the class, and then my teacher comes up to me going like, "Sweetie, are you okay?" And I'm like, "I miss my mommy." And like, it's like something that'll stay in my head forever, because it was like a very traumatic thing. I don't even know how that got in my mind or in my head, but it did, and that's gonna stay in my mind forever. But anyway, let's be happy again. Well, yeah. So all that just happened, you know what I mean, in the past couple years. And then a couple years later, I swear, in my whole entire lifetime, how many houses and apartments and everything I've moved is like probably the majority of like 5 to 7 times. Like, I swear, I'm not exaggerating at all. You can think I'm lying and everything, but I'm not. And, well, then I moved back to Pittsburgh or California. I lived in California for 1 year. So, it's a long story. I don't want to explain it, maybe in another story time. But, and then I moved back to Pittsburgh for, I don't even know how long. And this was when I was 7 years old, I'm pretty sure. 7 years old. Well, and I moved back, and well, it was summer, and I was visiting my grandparents. I call them Goggy and Pappy. And then my parents asked me, "Hey, Maria, how would you like it if we lived with your grandma and grandpa?" And I wasn't thinking. I was like 6 or 7. I forget how old I was. And I just said, "Yeah, that'll be so much fun." And then I wasn't thinking about what I had, because what I had was, I had like the best friend that you could ever have in this entire universe. She was nice, and whenever I was sad, she would always be with me. This is the time when I was in 1st grade, and like, you only had to know her for 5 days to know that she is the sweetest person on earth. Like, not just because she's a little kid, but it's because you can just tell that someday she's gonna be so sweet and such a nice young lady. But, anyway, aside from that, and I cry about that, like, almost every night of my life, that I moved away from her. I don't have her phone number. I don't text her. I don't have any connection of her. And I think she moved to a different state also. So it's like, I'm never going to see her again my whole entire life. And that's very, very upsetting and very sad to me, because she was my best friend, and I just thought, like, I'm never ever going to see her again. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But anyway, and then I didn't know what I was giving up. I wasn't thinking. I just said yeah because I loved my grandparents, obviously. And, well, when we moved back, everything was gone. And when I started to get a little bit older to the age I am now, maybe even like a year later, like when I was 8 years old, 9, something like that, 7, I forget, but I just thought to myself, like, why did I do that? If there was one time in my life I could go back in time, it would be to go back to myself, saying to myself, my younger self, say no. When they ask you, say no. Even if you say no, do everything you can. Explain how this would be a bad idea. Just say it would probably not work, but it's worth a try. I mean, all I had to say was no for them to maybe possibly change their mind, and that really upset me every day. And it's just one of those things that you regret for the rest of your life, and you know you can never change again, and then you can never go back to the way it was. You can never take that back. You can only regret it for the rest of your life, and that's the only thing you can do, and it's very upsetting. Every single day I almost think about that, and I try not to show it, but I'm kind of sad a lot of days whenever I think of that. I just think back on it, and I just think, like, all I had to say was no. But, you know. But I have a lot of friends here in Pittsburgh. I mean, I have a best friend. I have a few best friends. But, you know, there's a lot of amazing things here, and I love my life. Just, no matter what, think that your life is amazing. Accept your life of what it is. Because there are some people out there that have a lot worse than you. Even if you're in the worst times, maybe you're homeless or something like that, then maybe you have it better than people. There are people in different countries that are starving and everything, that are literally dying of thirst or starvation or something, a disease, that don't have the help and care and everything that we have. You know what I mean? But yeah, at least I had it for a while, and yeah, that was fun for a while. But that is actually the end of my video. Sorry if it was long and boring, but if you like this type of stuff, then give it a thumbs up, because why not? And, well, I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, like, comment down below. Remember, nice comments spread happiness, because that will do me a favor, because a lot of days I think of that, you know what I mean? But thank you for watching so much. I love you. Mwah! And goodbye.